Biko, please talk to people. I mean, you are the convener of this protest. Please, can you give them a brief on how you are seeing things going, please?
Well, let me thank everybody who came out yesterday across the world. We're not just trying to make a small statement. We want Nnamdi Kanu to be free.
Yes.
He must be free.
It's
non-negotiable.
It's non-negotiable.
What I want to say is that those are saying that Yoruba man is fighting for Igbo man.
Divide us.
Yes.
They have discovered that this one has come to unite us.
Exactly.
The oppressed.
Exactly.
And that is why they are very worried. And I hope they continue to be worried. Because the voice is loud now.
Exactly.
And we are unstoppable.
Exactly.
And we will ensure that Nnamdi Kanu is free.
Yes.
There's nothing they didn't do to us yesterday, including opening fire on us. So I'm not surprised that today or yesterday they targeted his lawyers. They even said it. The presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga said it, that the lawyer had no business protesting.
Imagine.
They were about to release them yesterday on bail because they committed no crime anyways. And then suddenly changed their mind and even attacked us in front of the FCT command. What they are trying to do is that they know they don't have a case. And the lawyer, the lead lawyer, who has been challenging them, they want to put him away. At the time that they said his clients should open his defense. You are the one who said go and open his defense. Yes. The lawyer is preparing, but now you are taking the lawyer away so that he cannot prepare for him to open his defense. What we're trying to say is that we got here this morning and lo and behold, the police has rushed here without letting his lawyers be aware of their client's whereabouts. And the judge, upon discovering that there was no lawyer around, has sent them to Kuje Court Magistrate. That was the goal of the illegal IG, is to send this guy away. That's the goal of Tinubu, to make sure that there are no lawyers to defend him when he returns to court, to open his defense. That is it. That is the tactic you are saying now. And you see that they're also sponsoring propaganda that it was Sowore that got them arrested. Yep. It is part of the propaganda so that they will use that to divide us.
Used to propaganda.
Yes. And we are used to that. I am here to get Nnamdi Kanu released.
Yes.
And nobody who is being held, including Igbos that were tagged IPOB members, who are all languishing in several detentions, in Wanwa Barrack, in Tiger Base, we will get everybody out.
Yes.
It's either we are free in this country or we ensure that we fight for our independence again.
Exactly.
Yes.
That is
freedom or nothing.
That is why I have no apologies. When you hear me say that Nigeria needs a revolution, this is what I mean.
Yes, we need a revolution.
Without a revolution, everybody will take you for a granted. Even a chicken can take you for a granted. For granted. Bees, flies, we take you for granted. Rats, we take you for granted. But in this case, we are prepared for whatever it will take. That's why they never thought I could come out yesterday. And they said, after the tear gas was, they thought it was over. Yes. We protested in this Abuja in 6 places. Yes. We were emerging in different parts of the city. And with their help, they were able to help us shut down the city.
Exactly.
Even the judge who gave an order that we cannot go to Aso Road could not resume to work yesterday. We hear his own case. So, but just be prepared. Those of you who were afraid this last time or who were convinced not to come out, know that nothing can happen to you if we all unite en masse.
Exactly.
If the mass decide today that we want Nnamdi Kanu released, they will release him.
When people say yes, nobody.
Perhaps we should be looking at. Well, let me remind us of a Yoruba proverb. He says, you say to the cripple that, your load is askew, and it reminds you that perhaps you should be looking at his feet instead of focusing on his head. Nnamdi Kanu is a reaction to genuine grievances. Ndi Igbo, since the end of the Civil War, has proven to be the testing ground for all the madness that afflicts Nigeria. What was once restricted strictly for the Igbos have now been democratized for everybody. The Nigerian citizen is essentially a Biafran. The question to ask is this: why is Nnamdi Kanu agitating, and why is he supported by the rank and file of Ndi Igbo? A lot of people are unhappy with his methodologies, yes. But there has been nobody who has been able to come out to credibly challenge the genuineness of the grievances that he's fighting for, or rather fighting against. Let us be clear. We can bellyache about his methods from now till kingdom come, and I have been very vocal in condemning his method. But nobody in their right mind can argue against the fact that Ndi Igbo, just like every other Nigerian who is not a member of the ruling class, has been seriously marginalized in Nigeria and is not even treated decently like a human being. So if we want to talk about the criminalities that has also affected that struggle, let me remind you that it is in this country that we started hearing how Asari Dokubo has been contracted by certain states to act and bear arms on behalf of the Nigerian state. He said as much inside the council chamber of the Nigerian state in Nassau Rock at the beginning of Tinubu's regime when he was there vibrating. We don't even know and cannot say for sure whether this madness can be traced directly to Nnamdi Kanu and his cohort. I am not his lawyer. I'll let his lawyer handle that. But the fact is this: there is no way to say with certainty that state-sponsored actors are not equally involved in the madness that has overtaken the Southeast. And if you are going to deal with that madness, you would have to go to the root. What is causing the grievances? What is at the root of the grievances? What is it that the Igbo man is complaining about? Why is it that this place has remained in turmoil? If it's just about Nnamdi Kanu, it will be over. You've had him locked up for like 3 years, and even before then, he was mostly on the run. So the point is, take away the grievances, and the agitations will dry up. As long as the headlights persist, the fingernail will remain blood-stained. That is a reality. Nnamdi Kanu might not be to your taste, but you should ask yourself, and I'm saying this to everybody who might have reason to have quarreled with him, as I have, why is his agitation resonating with his people? Because it is true. So if the Nigerian state is interested in dealing with the criminalities and everything, let it go first to the root of the problem, the inequitable treatment of Nigerians. It is just unfortunate that the Igbo man is the one we are speaking about, but there is nothing that hails him today that does not hail each and every Nigerian regardless of where they are. It is inequity that is at the root of everything.
The police fired live ammunitions on the demonstrators today, dispersing them. But the police is saying that, well, there are contraventions by the demonstrators who have protested or marched the street around the sensitive areas where restrictions are being made. So let's get to hear from the spokesperson of the Nigerian police force, Mr. Benjamin Hunde. He is live for us here in our studio. Thanks so much, PPRO, for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me on the show tonight.
I appreciate it. Did you get on a court order about these, specifically about this protest of today?
Yes, we did. We got a court order specifically about this protest and restricting protests from certain areas like the Aso Villa, the Supreme Court, the National Assembly, Eagle Square, the Force Headquarters, and Shehu Shagari Way. And the court order says protesters are restricted from going to these areas. And as a law enforcement agency, we are duty bound to enforce that court order.
So it was the Nigerian police force that went on behalf of the IGP, went to the court, and this was on Wednesday or whatever. Am I right?
On Friday.
It was on Friday.
Yeah.
Were you able to secure the court order? Because I understand that the court was supposed to sit on that matter today, but that never held.
Well, I'm talking about Friday. We approached the court and we got the court order.
There is a valid court order from, is it just Tomato's court?
There is a valid court order from Federal High Court in Abuja, and that is what we enforced today. It came out on Friday.
So on what grounds did the police want those specific areas to be isolated from the protesters?
You see, FCT is very big. You can protest anywhere and your voices will still be heard. It will still be reported by the press. And these are critical infrastructure that need to be protected. And don't forget that these are places where protests have happened in the past and things were destroyed. We have records of that. So it's our duty as an agency It's our mandate to protect life and property, to ensure law and order. So whatever step we need to take to achieve that mandate is what we'll take. All lawful steps, and that was what we did. So we took that step in order to protect the critical infrastructure in those areas.
Is it about critical infrastructure or about protecting the powerful against the average person? Because the average person that went on the street today, these places that you are mentioning, the National Assembly, the Sowore Villa, all of these are places where you find the powerful and the mighty in Nigeria. Is that what you are protecting?
Definitely not. Like I said, no matter where you protest, your voices will be heard. In fact, this is the age of internet and ICT. People will always make videos and stream and make their voices heard. So it's not about that. There was a group that protested along this road some years back, and it was anarchy, it was chaos. In fact, I remember that the ambulance that was there was burnt down. So we've seen this before, and we need to learn from incidents that have happened in the past. So we would not allow this happen, especially when we see the red flags, when we get the intel, the intelligence that such a thing is going to happen. We are duty bound to take every preemptive step to make sure it doesn't happen.
So what intelligence did the police have to suggest that this one was going to escalate to the point that it's going to put the lives of the president living in the presidential villa, the lives of the lawmakers in jeopardy, or any properties in jeopardy?
Thank you very much. We might not be able to go into details of the intelligence, but it's enough to say that everything we did was in good faith to protect Nigerians and protect the city. So we're saying it again that we approached the court listened to us and graciously granted.
Are you able to make available this court order so that Nigerians can be able to see the content of what the court is restricting these protesters who are unarmed? By the way, the allegations that you fire live ammunition. What did they do to live ammunition? Did you want to kill them, or what exactly was the problem?
Number one, the court order is not it's not a classified document. It's readily available.
Or the copy that you have, you were the one who went to court.
Yes, I can make a copy available. Yeah. You can also just
you did that in ex parte. That means that you appear before the court in exclusively to before the police and the court.
Yes, and it is clearly stated in that same order that the other party should appear this morning 9 a.m. in court. It was clearly stated as just for in the spirit of fair play. Talking about live ammunition, I can state it categorically, authoritatively, that no live ammunition was fired today. Not a single live ammunition. It's very easy for people who are not familiar with the sounds to mistake the firing of tear gas for live ammunition. It makes the same popping sound, the explosion-like sound, but I can say it on good authority that no live ammunition was fired.
Are you sure that all of your police officers, because there are evidence and pellets that have been picked, and I guess after some time those will be made available, that the live ammunitions and the pellets of the police were said to have been these demonstrators who are unarmed?
Well, if you talk about tear gas canisters being picked on the floor, yes, I would agree. But I'm yet to see shot. But I'm also confirming again that there was no live ammunition.
Gas fired at the protesters. Why?
Oh, thank you very much. The court order stated it clearly that the protesters should not go anywhere around the areas I mentioned earlier. And these protesters made an approach. They wanted to go to these areas. And like I said, as a law enforcement agency, on Saturday, we made it clear that we're going to enforce this court order. We gave enough warning for these people to court order. We gave enough warning for these people to step back and not go beyond where they were, but they were adamant and they were going to approach these areas. And we just conform to standard operating procedures, and we decided to use, in conformity with our SOP, to use minimal force that is commensurate with the resistance we are getting, and we used tear gas. That was the least that we could do. Nobody was harmed or injured, and we're able to successfully achieve our mandate and disperse the protesters.
Because this is what Sowore and some of the protesters claim. They say, quote, suddenly from nowhere, they started shooting at us. tear gas, and some live bullets were fired. Luckily, I don't think anybody was hit with the live bullets, but they were just shooting all around. Why were the sporadic shooting? Because I imagine that there are very trained police officers who are trained on how to disarm or disperse people or stop people from encroaching into areas. If you said that you have court order, a valid court order restraining people from moving an area, because it then make the police look like an insensitive, a very military-like civil organization that's supposed to protect the citizen from harm.
Do not forget that first, there was a court order saying people should not go there. Secondly, we issued a statement explaining...
Is tear gas the best way to disperse people? You know the health danger of a tear gas on the average person.
I'll tell you this. Before tear gas is shot or fired, the people, the protesters in this particular case, were warned, were told to disperse. You cannot go beyond that point. And do not forget that their protests and their insistence on approaching these areas actually caused traffic gridlock.
It was the police who caused the traffic.
No.
Your men, apologies, please. Your men barricaded the part of.
You're going to say barricade, yes.
You barricaded. You stop people from moving freely.
You were going to say
that stopped people for business. People, citizens who are going about their daily business. From yesterday night, that has been happening. We monitored and we saw.
I said
you barricaded off from Maitama, off from the other side of zone 4, zone 2.
I said something earlier, that in order to achieve our mandate of protecting life and property, maintaining law and order, we'll do everything legally needed.
Including making the life of citizens of the city miserable.
Now, barricading that road is in furtherance of achieving our mandate. And in such places, traffic was diverted. So there were alternate routes to be used.
Traffic was halted, sir.
Okay.
Because that's what happened. So if you look at people who are coming from the other end of the villa side towards Maitama, towards the central, towards the police headquarters, they're not allowed to move in there. You go all the way. It will take a journey of 30 minutes will take you an hour and a half.
Okay.
In the city today. It's fair on the average.
So allow me to land on my thoughts. The moment the tear gas was fired, traffic started moving. The videos are available online. Traffic started moving. So we are confident that we're not protesting and we're going about their lawful duties.
Mr. Ondayi, my question is tear gas the best way to disperse
in this particular in this particular instance, after all words of proclamation, after all admonition fails, when the protesters remain adamant, then the minimal force we can use in this case is tear gas.
What about water canisters? Are you not able to water cannons? And I thought that, I saw a few of them, the very large, big ones, or you are out of water.
You are going to ask the same question, that is water cannon the best way to disperse citizens?
I'm saying water could be fairer than smoking people. Are they animals?
Like we said, this is standard operating procedure. It's not a Nigerian thing.
What about water? I'm saying what about water? Were you not able to use water? Or you just ate the faces of those who are protesting?
Now,
what exactly?
You make
it's a police force standing for the people or standing against
you make it sound like tear gas is biological weapon or weapon of mass destruction. No, this is approved.
But it's harmful to the health of the
This is approved and this is used by police forces around the world. We are not using anything illegal. We are not using anything unlawful. And like I said, this comes after a series of warnings. And mind you, immediately the warning was given that this is going to be done, the people that had health concern and that loved themselves left that place. So this was for the unruly...
So there was a police officer who announced that...
This was...
All right, guys. So you have heard, though, as it is said, Nnamdi Kalu's lawyer has been taken to Kuje prison, and Nnamdi Kalu's brother and some others that were caught same yesterday during the protest. All right. So this is a shocking thing, and the government needs to do something about it.